Here in these first approaching 3 minutes of this round. The rocket has yet to fire.
It's almost like our pre-fight graphic that went up with the records. It looks like, to this day, it looks like the records were wrong.
Yeah.
By the way this fight is going, which just shows you that how close MMA still really is to. You have a horrible record and be better than the guy that's got a great record sitting in front of you. And right now, at least to this point of the fight, this portion of the first round, he's winning, in the sense. But of course, with Buscape, the rocket underneath you, he can catch you in a submission at any time. He's got that position. You notice his heels on his hips, doesn't like to come in and punch, keeps you at a distance. Although Nier's not using his legs as much as he should be. Close guard right now. Doesn't allow you to do anything but be defensive. You can't submit a guy. You can't move on a guy to open up your guard. He's very defensive right now. Doesn't mean he's not setting something up. He's just very defensive.
And as you talked about, Frank, right down the middle there with Firmino. He has won by basically half his fights have either been submission or decision. There is one TKO involved there in these 11 victories. But Miyata's come out and shown some punching ability here. We knew he was an outstanding wrestler, but he's actually gotten a few strikes in.
He sat down to a heel hook too, which is a little strange. Bad choice. I think it was a bad choice of techniques. You gave up a great position of being on top and grounding and pounding to get underneath the guy that's really good at jiu-jitsu. It would have been smarter for him to attempt it, miss it, and then get back on top if he's really gonna attempt it. One of the things we try to train over at Nova Niao Academy in Las Vegas with John Lewis is that we really got to pay attention to giving up a great position on a maybe of a submission.
And now turning things around, Firmino.
Got the reverse. Now he gets a takedown, legit serious takedown in MMA. He's on top now. Now he can work his ground and pound.
And with Miyata, where we've seen some very nice things, we've also seen some of the inexperienced here.
Yes. And that's part of the problem, now with how much things are going on with MMA and how many fights there are out there and the ability for you to fight almost every weekend now. In a big name, legit organization, it makes it difficult. Now he's starting to take that ground and pound. He's really starting to step up at Buscape. He's really starting to step it in. Caught him a lot of times. Caught made a couple times in the head. Maeda's best shot right here is to get back to his feet. Stop playing this game on the ground and just get back to his feet. Buscape's going to start to punish him here.
Firmino now.
It's not a spot to stop. You want to take knees there, so you need the head there. You don't want to take those knees. You got to get yourself out of that position.
Well, Firmino has waited patiently, let the youngster do his thing. Maybe he was surprised just a little bit, but he has now taken over control of this fight with 3.5 minutes to go here in the first round. Miyata again takes a knee. A knee and another good knee. Now Firmino takes the back.
He's really turned the tide of this fight. He's starting to pick up the pace. Now we're in a lot of trouble. Both hooks are in. With chasing the neck, he's probably gonna get this rear naked choke. Buscape's really good behind the back here.
See if he sinks it in again, trying to lock in that right arm.
Oh, it's deep. This guy's in a lot of trouble. Maeda's in a lot of trouble right here.
Now
it's deep. It's the chin. He turned into this, so turn away.
He's there. He's tapped. That's it. Firmino wins.
Wow, good work. He hunted it down. Took a little bit of beating early. Had to come back and fight a little bit. And wins it really with his traditional jiu-jitsu. Did very little of anything else. A couple knees, couple strikes, but really with straight jiu-jitsu position. Great job.
Luiz Buscape Firmino. He goes on to the second round here of the lightweight Grand Prix with the first round rear naked choke victory. And early on, being the crafty veteran that he is, took a couple of surprise shots from the youngster in ways of takedown, and then a nice solid punch here.
Nice push pass right to the right hand, punch in the face. Right on the fight, we see him. He's already got it sunk in. You know, technically he shouldn't have his feet crossed like he did at the ankles. It's a good way to get tapped out yourself, but the rear naked choke at that point was so deep, there's no way to stop it.
So Firmino with a lot of polish on that performance. Never got rattled, took charge. He advances on here in Dream competition. And when we come back, more tournament action.
Next on HDNet, Katie Darrell walks you through this week's wackiest news events in Deadline. Coming up next on HDNet.
The top fighters from around the globe
Here we go.
will gather in Japan. And the greatest lightweight will be found.
Whoa! The countdown is underway.
Kawajiri, Aoki, Calvin Conte, Ishida on the network with more exclusive live events than anywhere else. HDNet Fights presents Dream. Tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern, followed by Dream 2 Saturday on HDNet, your home for MMA.
Welcome back to HDNet Fights presents Dream 1.
Saitama Super Arena here just outside of Tokyo. Kenny Rice break trig on HDNet Fights as we continue on in the lightweight Grand Prix tournament. Nagata, Oumakhanov getting ready to come to the ring.
ただいまより本日の第5試合平和ドリーム1ライト級グランプリ2008開幕戦第3試合を行います
And now for the fifth match.
赤コーナーよりアルトゥール・ウマハノフ選手の入場です
Artur Oumakhanov, 2007 Cage Force lightweight tourney champ. So obviously he has experience in this format as well as a 7-3 record.
A lot of the Russians tend to understand the tournament concept a little better than Americans do. They do a lot of tournament action overseas in Europe. It's an easy way to get a guy a lot of fights very quickly. Test his fortitude. And you have to fight one time, a couple months later fight another time, a couple months after that fight twice in one night. You learn very quickly, okay, do I have the nuts, the guts to make this thing work? You know, because it is a hard fought life to be out here, you know, in getting, you know, trying to compete, be an MMA pro athlete. But then to be able to do it in a tournament action makes you a better man very instantaneously.
He had a victory in December over Boku, who we saw earlier in action, losing to Hansen. Of his 7 victories, 4 by way of knockout.
赤コーナーより永田克彦選手の入場です
Nagata Katsuhiko Nagata. A young pro fighter. He's 34 years old, but this is only his 6th professional fight.
A little busy. Getting silver medals and very good.
As we look at the tail of the tape, Oumakhanov with the experience and the advantage of 5 years in youth.
Is it really an advantage?
Good question. I should ask you.
I have to say no, because I'm about to turn 6. I have to be honest with you, I don't speak very good Japanese at all, but that didn't sound like Oumakhanov to me at all.
Nor do I.
Just want to make sure. I'm going to apologize to Oumakhanov right now because I'm for sure going to screw up his name in the middle of this, for sure. So I apologize now, and thank goodness he's a lightweight because he's a lot smaller than me. It won't hurt as much.
Seconds out, please.
Nagata, as Frank mentioned, 2000 Greco-Roman silver medalist. So yes, even though he is 5 years older, he has been very active on the international wrestling scene, amateur wrestling.
Nagata in his young career only loses to Akiyama and Uno. Not too shabby.
That's jumping right into the mix. That's going into the deep end of MMA to start. Nagata showing southpaw style. Curious about his boxing ability.
A little spastic right now. He's dipping him with his head down, dropping his hands in when he steps in. Typical wrestler style, even though he's a Greco guy.
Good kick by Oumakhanov.
Wow. Oumakhanov, obviously a little bit more patient. The Russians tend to be a little more patient when they're stand-up. Pick their spots a little bit more. Hands do always tend to seem to be a little bit further down than what we're used to here in America. Most guys are familiar with the big Russian, Fedor Emelianenko. That's his style of punching. It tends to be a Russian style as a whole. I'm wondering, even though that Oumakhanov is younger, he seems to be older. All those knee braces and ankle braces. I wonder if he's got a back brace underneath those pants of his. Good shot. That was not set up correctly.
Yeah, knocking. Nagata shooting a blank there.
Oumakhanov, if you keep shooting like that, he's going to catch with a knee on the way in or catch with an uppercut.
Nagata, in case you haven't noticed, wearing the shoes. Kind of stand out there, don't they? Look almost pink.
Yeah, I was trying to pick their color. They got to be pink. They are. They're pink wrestling shoes. Good for him. He's not man enough to paint his toenails, but he's man enough to wear pink shoes. Gotta give him love on that one. Not gonna find a little bit more pattern now, a little more rhythm. He's starting to try to time the jump in, really, by Nagata. He's just jumping in there, and he's getting caught on the way in now every time.
Oumakhanov, wicked intentions with that uppercut.
See, talk about the timing as he throws it.
Figure, let's just end this thing. This guy's like a little rabbit out here on me. I'm not going to chase a guy in the pink shoes around all night.
Easiest way to stop a guy in pink wrestling shoes from jumping in front of you is to either knock him down or throw him down. We'll see if Oumakhanov does that here pretty quick.
lightweight Grand Prix action. Artur Oumakhanov out of Russia in the shorter white trunks. Katsuhiko Nagata, great wrestling career in the amateur ranks in his 6th pro fight now, hoping to advance on in this tournament. Now he shoots in and gets the takedown. Nagata finally gets it to the ground.
Smart move, good technique. He's waited, he started getting hit a little bit, jumping in and out. Jumped in one time, stopped his motion, just dipped right in the middle of Oumakhanov's punch, took him down. Good work. Smart too, smart about how he's going after it.
Crowd of almost 20,000 here, patiently watching this unfold. Very knowledgeable MMA fans.
They understand the ground game tremendously well. They understand every change in position. An armbar setup, a triangle setup. So you'll hear them cheer even not only big strikes on the feet, but also.
It's like going to wrestling in Oklahoma or Iowa.
Correct.
Everybody knows what's going on when you go into venues there.
Especially in Norman, the University.
Yeah, they had a really good wrestler named Trigg, I think, was there.
Not a good one, just a guy that was on the team. I wasn't very good when I was there.
If you're on the team, you're good there.
Well,
there's some legends that come out of those programs in that area. You go to Iowa State, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that's true. There are some legends.
If you're on that team, you're pretty good.
Like your Danny Shades and your Rico Ciparellis and your Chad Zappatos, Brands brothers.
Meanwhile, Nagata has shown a few flashes here of a ground and pound game.
He tends to keep his head down a little bit low. If you get a ground and pound, you can't have your head on his chest. You got to posture up, sit up. Keep the hips in and start throwing. There he goes. And if you notice, every time he does it, he gets good position, but then he gives up that position when he drops his head back down. It's tied up, has to fight back out of the tie-up again. Good head motion on the ground, though. A lot of guys just sit there and take the punches try to block with their arms. He's actually using his head motion, his bob and weave technique, even on the canvas. Oh, the guy was bleeding? The guy about to was bleeding? There's blood on the chest of...
Oumakhanov has blood on his chest.
I'm assuming.
Well, it looks like it might be coming from above the eye of Nagata, who somehow in here, perhaps it looks like it's over, there is a cut over his left eye. Oumakhanov sneaking a punch in there.
Maybe it was a headbutt on the way down,
or a headbutt one, and you also see, I'm not sure if that's bleeding or if that's the blood of Nagata on Oumakhanov's left cheek. Nagata trying to time and get between those up kicks.
See, every time he gets a good position, though, he puts that head right down on that chest. You can't do that. You got to keep yourself postured up. Got to keep yourself in a space, in a position to keep punching. Also, too, once you put his head on his chest, you're able to move. The bottom guy is able to start slipping and sliding around from underneath you, dig out of the hooks, and start getting out from being caught in his guard.
Reposition out away from the ropes now, with 2.5 to go in this first round. It's been an interesting fight. Nagata kind of learning how he goes a little bit here, I think, in his striking game. He's very frenetic in the first part of this fight, just all over the place.
Oh, wow. Great change of position. Smart move. Oumakhanov just sitting up, taking that spot, not realizing he had just enough distance. Set up to a double leg.
So Oumakhanov makes a big move here, just over 2 minutes to go in round one.
Now, this is what we call a tide turner. He's on the bottom, getting beat up a little bit, ground and pounding. All of a sudden, this entire thing can change the way the fight goes. and how the judges judge the fight, because it is in the last half of the first round.
And up until now, it had been Nagata on the ground with the only takedown so far, up until now. So Oumakhanov is trying to see what he can do in the final 130 of this first round. You pointed out, Frank, who Oumakhanov basically was kind of in a bob and weave, even though his back was on the ground. Nagata basically in a clinch on the ground here. He's
good throw over. Great job cutting at the feet. Good struggle, both guys. Obviously, the wrestling experience won that one out.
And if it stays on the ground, you would have to just take a stab. An Olympic silver medalist like Nagata would have a sizable advantage in this kind of fight.
Yeah, because he's going to be a lot more active. He's going to have that ability to just keep grinding out. We call it pummeling in wrestling, but he's going to pummel his arms out and get in position to keep hitting guys. You know, just in theory, you know, you look at a guy like a Matt Lindland or Randy Couture or Henderson or myself, that's kind of what we do. We get on top. We're just used to having to use our arms, so we're able to start beating a guy up. So now, see how he's sitting up. He's in a good position, got a bunch of strikes in, but then rests with his head on his chest. And takes a couple punches, and now has to fight again.
And Oumakhanov had reversed position on him, and looked like it turned things around. A lot of poise here on Nagata's part. He has fought a very solid first round. Giving up some professional experience here, but the Olympic silver medalist from Japan with a good first round.
Now, I have to be honest with you, looking at this on paper, I thought Oumakhanov would finish this in the first round. I truly didn't think he was going to get through Nagata getting through the first round just because of his inexperience. Obviously shows you a little bit of his amateur experience in amateur wrestling. Gives you that little bit of I need to dig through and punch through and really grind out some kind of victories. And sometimes it's one of those positions where he's got to grind out a victory in here if he wants to win this.
Oumakhanov, impressive at the start of this. Nagata was kind of all over the place, started getting his composure a little bit. As we take a look back at first round action. And there's that early punching of Oumakhanov.
Nice job, hit him right in the neck and chin. Surprised it didn't drop him down. Oh, see, I thought he ducked under a punch. He actually was catching a knee as he stepped through. It's actually a smart technique if you trust your wrestling. Jumping through right to that knee as you see him do a little Oumakhanov on the ground, a little head movement, a little bob and weave, but that, you know, to get back to the early one, it's actually a good position if you want to, you know, catch a guy's knee. If you're confident in your wrestling position, step right through it, take a guy down as he's on one foot or planting his feet.
Katsuhiko Nagata. 3-2 record coming in. See a little bit of a cut there over his left eye. And a few welts around the eyes of Oumakhanov. 5 more minutes to go. Nagata, that left-handed style. Most of his strikes so have come from the ground and pound position.
Wow. Great leg kick. Immediately rechambers to a head kick.
Trying for the takedown and gets it.
Oh, good defense.
Oumakhanov working hard to keep it there on the ground.
Nagata doing good work and not staying down there. That would be hard for the refs to judge that one. Is it really considered a takedown or just a bump down? Are they going to give him full points on their scorecards or not? In a fight that's this close, that could be the deciding factor.
What do you think so far? What would you give him on that? Would you give him a takedown?
I would have called that a complete takedown, legit takedown, and then a not even a reversal, an escape to another takedown for Nagata. So right now we're 3 or 4 takedowns to 2. But remember, Nagata is cut, and that counts. He is bleeding.
Again, being warned about holding the rope. Oumakhanov.
I say just grinding this out. Nagata's just grinding it out. He's just keeping the action up, keeping moving, keeping the pressure on. Looks like, too, that Oumakhanov now is bleeding from the nose, up on the bridge of his nose. So both guys are cut now, so it negates the cutting, negates the blood loss.
And you can hear the breathing throughout this arena from the two fighters.
That's the one thing I like about Japan. It's so quiet, the crowd, they cheer, they know the positions and good gear changes, what have you, but you can hear each corner speak. You can hear the fighters and what they're going through.
And now some knees for good measure from Nagata, and up and swinging Oumakhanov.
Oumakhanov swinging for the fence, a straight right or uppercut. No setup. It's going to be hard to catch a guy like Nagata without setting up those punches, because he moves so much.
Got a front kick in, now back to the ground.
Good takedown. We talk about in boxing, punching in bunches and using combos. Well, that's what Oumakhanov just did. He was punching in bunches, but then he used a combo of not only striking, but also using his combo of striking and moving it right into a takedown.
And Oumakhanov probably getting credit for a takedown earlier in this round. This would give him 2 in this round.
Correct. Now, on a scorecard, the only thing that can, obviously besides a knockout, a submission, finishing the fight, the one thing that you can really do that to score big on scorecards is hit a guy with 2 or 3 clean shots, even throw 5 punches. If 2 of those shots are clean, immediately move to a takedown, immediately move to a guard pass, all in one technique. You're going to score huge on the scorecards of the refs, on the judges, which can win a fight. That can be a big deal. You get 2 of those in a fight, that's the whole fight. And Nagata got a good reversal. Still staying active. You can't be, obviously when Nagata, the scouting report for later is going to be you can't rest, you can't take a break. Because every time Oumakhanov takes a break, he ends up getting swept or getting a position change.
And Nagata has been consistent in the ground and pound. Not all the punches have been effective, but he has consistently brought the action when it's been on the ground like this. This would be considered a mild upset if Nagata, in this his 6th pro fight, even with that great amateur wrestling background, the silver medalist in the 2000 Olympics in Greco-Roman, because of the experience that Oumakhanov brought into this fight, Frank, and also the fact that he is tournament tested. He has won a tournament before. He is used to this kind of environment and looking ahead and preparing for 2 weeks in advance, etc.
Correct. This is a bit of a big deal. He's basically getting outworked. That's what's happening. And right now, I have to give it to, I'm not really sure what the judges are using as criteria. We couldn't pick them up before the fight started, because in Pride there was a legit line of criteria that they looked at in order of importance. And I wasn't able to get that, but right now, the way I see it, Nagata's winning. He's just a lot more active. He's won the takedown battle. He's won the reversal battle. He's just been a lot more, like I said, if he wants to win, he's got to grind it out, which I think he did here.
Katsuhiko Nagata. Do the officials agree? As he was consistent and aggressive throughout this fight with Artur Oumakhanov.
I like seeing guys that have to sit there and battle it out. I like seeing guys that really have to grind it out and push it through, and he did a good job. You can see him here, caught in the ropes. Not stop. A lot of guys tend to stop when they're in the ropes. They tend to break and wait for the ref to move their position. He's looking for slow spots to pepper shot him. Nice knees are coming up. He catches them 2, 3, 4 times in the head. There's even more when they get to their feet. He just keeps hitting them in that position. And here at the end of the fight, just grinding it out, really just grinding out the position, trying to find a way to win. When your technique's not as good as your opponent, sometimes you have to buckle down and use some mental ability and push through all the pain and the being tired.
Will Nagata advance? Is it Oumakhanov?
Judge Todori, Nagata. Judge Miyake, Nagata. Judge Mizuno, Nagata. よって勝者 Nagata Katsuhiko.
Clean decision. The refs agree with me because they're the smartest judges in the world. Agreeing with me makes you a lot smarter. No, I gotta say that because usually I pick wrong.
I was going to agree with you.
Yeah, that was a good grinding out position. You know, he didn't really impress me with his technique, but he impressed me with his ability to work. And technique you can work on later. Technique you can pick something else up later. You can work on some of those position changes he needs to work on.
So Nagata now advancing on along with Sakurai and Hansen.
Remember, Kenny, Sakurai, even though he used to be at lightweight, it's not in a tournament.
That's right. Sakurai won earlier, but one is a welterweight. So
Correct,
it's Hansen that is already advanced. And Firmino, who has already advanced. And now a solid performance tonight.
Although, speaking of Sakurai, I was impressed with his size.
Yeah, Sakurai moving up fighting as a welter on what I guess would be the undercard for this tournament.
Which is weird, seeing Sakurai on
Sakurai on
undercard.
undercard, yeah.
But I'm really impressed with his size and his power being up that high. And these lightweights so far have really impressed me. You know, it's we saw earlier with Maeda, you know, and Firmino, he was battling. Maeda was in the fight. He was bashing it out, drawing it out until Firmino kind of caught him. You know, not really catch him. He worked his way into it. You know, got the win. But really, he shows that he can be a big factor at this weight class. Maeda. He just needs a little bit more time, you know, to get ready for that size difference he has to deal with, and of course the experience difference.
Not like that silver medal from an Olympics, but certainly one that means something to Nagata here. Picking up a medal in his tournament debut and now advancing on here in this Dream Lightweight Tournament Championship. So he will continue on in the Grand Prix with a unanimous decision victory. So I'm sure he can breathe a little easier as he goes back to the dressing room now. He fought a tough opponent and came away with the win. As the crowd quietly awaits our next fighters. We've seen both these fighters before here on HDNet.
Dream 1 ライト級グランプリ2008開幕戦第4試合を行います。
And now for the sixth match.
青コーナーよりチョン・ブギョン選手の入場です。
We've seen one Olympian win here tonight. Nagata. Will Bu Guangzhong be another Olympian to win? He's got his hands full, though, in his matchup tonight.
Yeah, he's only had one professional fight. He lost it.
That was on the Fedor Return Show, New Year's Eve, right here in this arena. Lost to Shinya Aoki by unanimous decision. And if you can't guess what sport he competed in his Olympics to win a silver medal, it was judo.
He got out about 4 or 5 different submission attempts, if I remember correctly, against Aoki. And it's tough. Aoki's a submission specialist, probably one of the best guys I've ever seen a submission in an MMA match. Just grinds it out, doesn't really concern with getting hit or hitting a guy. Just wants to grind out that submission position. He does it very well. And Jung got out of several of them on his way through to the loss. Impressed me greatly, but he's got another tough opponent tonight in Ishida, who's a great wrestler. So it's going to be that judo guy versus a wrestler to see who kind of pull it together. But it's one of those deals now where you're looking at a guy that has a great silver medalist, a great judo practitioner, but doesn't have the fight experience that we're used to seeing. So has he improved on his stand-up game? Did he improve on his wrestling defense? Has he gotten better on some of his submission attempts? Aoki, obviously, his submission defense was incredible.
And the impressive thing about Jung in that fight, he did go the distance. There were times it looked like he was ready to be submitted, maybe even be knocked out. Every time he thought he was kind of just walking on that edge, he did stay in there.
Great cardio too. It's a lot of high action in his debut. Let's see if he carries that through on this one as well.
And the man he's going to fight tonight, he also saw him fight on that New Year's Eve card.
赤コーナーより石田光弘選手の入場です。
Mitsuhiro Ishida, we saw him win a unanimous decision over Gilbert Melendez on the Yaranoka show here New Year's Eve. Handing Melendez his first professional loss.
Yeah, tough fight. Gilbert, a friend of mine, friend of my radio show, Tag Radio. We had him on directly after, and he was like, man, Gilbert's great, and it made no excuse. He said Ishida was a better man, and I just went out there, and I wasn't hurt. I wasn't poorly trained. I worked my butt off, and I got beat. If you know Gilbert, that means Ishida outworked him that night. He just outworked him that night. It's really how that fight went down. I'm really impressed with Ishida's ability, cardiovascular system. He's a little bit smaller for this weight. I know it's 155 pounds, but he's a little bit smaller than most people give him credit for at 5'6". Short even for lightweight standard. He's a little guy. He is a guy that will bring as much as he can. Well, you say right in his nickname, Kenny. Endless Fighter is his nickname because he never stops fighting.
Well deserved in those 15 wins, 12 of those by decision, including the unanimous victory over Gilbert Melendez. He has no problem at all. You can figure he's the kind of guy to go 15 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it takes when you watch him progress throughout a fight.
第の試合を行います。青コーナー171センチ、69.8キロ。ションブーヨン。赤コーナー168センチ、69.9キロ。石田光弘。
The one thing about Ishida, he does like so many decisions. He does go to listen so long. It tells you one of two things. It tells you two of two things, actually. One, his cardio is incredible because he can keep going as hard as he can the entire fight. But then his finishing techniques are no good, which means you're never really going to be in a position where you're going to get finished. You're always going to be in a spot where you can come back from the fight and finish him either with a knockout, like Gomi did, or with a submission.
So now you wonder how much experience did Jung pick up? Jung fought against Aoki the same night Ishida was beating Melendez. Ishida moves so much, he can make it very frustrating. Flashes a kick.
Nice punch, nice hook. He's quick with his hands, a lot faster than I thought he would be. Stay in the pocket, staying comfortable, keeping his hands up. I see he was chasing him around the ring. He's following him. Actually, at this point, even though his back is against the ropes, Ishida's dictating the pace of the fight. You got to cut the guy off and not let him move as much. He's just following. He's just following. You've got to cut him off like a boxer. Step side to side. Not let him get out of a corner. Pin him in there. He's controlling the fight. Even though he's backing up the whole time, he's still controlling the fight, kind of like what Chuck Liddell does. He backs away, makes you follow him, and that's when he hits you. He's actually controlling the pace, even though he's running away, in theory. Not really running away. No, Chuck, you don't run. Please don't run.
The thing, you watch Liddell and Silva, those are two guys that probably hit about as hard as most people as they're going backward. They throw punches as hard as most guys stepping through it.
Good takedown by Ishida. Kind of slipped there. Lost a little bit on the paint in the Toyo Tire corner right there. He lost his footing there. But yeah, you're right. I've actually trained with Vandalay now with me in Vegas. He trains over Couture's, and I have to be honest with you, I've probably been hit harder by him backing up than most people coming forward.
And Jung here, who's still learning the all-around mixed martial arts game, the stand-up, the boxing part of it, you wonder just how much practice he's even had it. As he watched Ishida circle him several occasions there before they get this on the ground. And through the rope, so they'll move them back out. There you see Ishida, he's already run about, he's already put in a couple of 880s, hasn't he? And he's not breathing hard.
Control those legs. Don't just sit there blindly kicking at him. Keep a hold of them. Keep a hold of the feet. Keep a hold of the toes.
Jung with the right. His best punch so far.
Oh, wow. Good dip. Saw that flying knee coming. Dipped underneath it.
Leaps straight over. Yoshida ducks under that, and now he's on top.
I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Jung was trying to throw a double flying knee, or the fact that Ishida saw it coming and dipped it.
And dipped, yeah. Well, Yoshida certainly can move, run, and obviously can fly a bit.
Oh, wow. Good submission position. He's got an inside arm. He's got an inside arm bend. He can, good job by Ishida. He's got it out, but he had a position. He could have got an arm bar.
Jung making his first strong move here. And the crowd appreciates the efforts by both fighters.
Good pace, but you notice, look at Ishida. How I said it earlier, but see how his head is on his chest. He's got to get his hands free for starters, and then get his head up free. He'll start punching. That's one of the problems he always has when he competes. He tends to not rest. He's not resting by any means, but he's in a bad position to finish a fight. If he sits up a little bit, he can start raining down blows. If he keeps his hips in, the guy won't get away from him, especially if he's pinned in the corner. He tends to, every time he sits up, he tends to let his hips out, and that's why he gets passed or the bottom guy escapes.
And a good point in here earlier. You can look at it several ways. Those 12 wins by way of decision of his 15 overall victories. Yoshida obviously can go the distance, but can he finish, as you pointed out?
Yeah. He hasn't done a very good job finishing as of late.
And especially so tonight with Jung, who is only fighting for the second time as a professional, who did go the distance and lost a unanimous decision to Aoki. He's a gutty young fighter, the 2004 Judo World Cup gold medalist, but still very young. And you figure this is a guy Yoshida, on paper, should put away if he's going to put away anybody.
If this fight goes a distance, there's going to be a at least from a training standpoint, if I'm training a guy to get ready to fight Ishida, okay, all we have to do is get you in great conditioning shape and get you a couple of solid finishes and look for a straight right hand or straight left hand down the center to knock him out, because Ishida's going to keep coming. Then, of course, don't chase him. You know, cut him off in the corners, what have you, but he's not going to be able to finish you. Takes away one part of the game plan that you don't have to be worried about anymore. You're fighting a guy that can't finish you, it makes it a lot easier to get a little bit more relaxed.
Again, a good low kick by Ishida.
Straight right hand, good job, but walks into that takedown.
Jung he's had a couple of good punches in this fight. Doesn't have any follow-up.
No, not at all. And when he does follow up, he ends up in the wrong position, on his back. He's trying for, there's actually a submission here if your neck is tight, but he's not anywhere near it in this position. Ishida can sit here all day. And Jung is expending a lot of energy for nothing. You see his chest is flexed out. Arms, back. That's going to expend a lot of energy flexing those muscles for so long for no reason.
Fights off an up kick. Ishida in control of this fight. Has been for almost all the 7 minutes as we approach it.
Jung's getting up a little bit slower. All of a sudden he's finding, you know, palm with the gloves. Now all of a sudden he's starting to realize, hey, I'm in a real fight. And this is where Ishida's going to start to excel.
And does Jung have any counter for this? He's gotten in a couple of good punches, but he has no combinations, or at least none that he's shown, and hasn't landed anything with any kind of jab to set up the right.
The jab in mixed martial arts, probably one of the most underused punches. Everybody wants to throw big hooks and big uppercuts and big crosses. Use that jab to set yourself up, find your distance, start swinging after. Use it at the beginning of your combo.
They cheer every kick. Kind of reached out there that time, some kind of looping left, quasi hook, I guess, and instead he goes back down. And Ishida continues to dominate here with 1:48 to go in round one.
Oh, he's got it tight. He's got this arm bar now tight. He has the elbow caught. It's caught across. And so it further extends, the more pressure puts on the elbow, as opposed to a hyperextension, it's turning it inward.
This fight is shaping up similarly to the one where Shinya Aoki went the distance here on New Year's Eve to defeat then the debut of Bu Guangjong, because you remember in that fight, some similar situations. He almost got Aoki into a couple of submissions.
And yet we end up, you know, it's Jung has the skill, he has the ability. The problem is that he puts himself in positions where he can't really finish it. You know, slap kicking from here, you know, trying to use up kicks on the guy that's out. Then tries these different submissions as he gets hit on the way in. As he hits him on the way in. He's just not making good fight choices.
Mitsuhiro Ishida very much in control of this as round one comes to a close.
Ishida dominated that whole fight, controlled the pace of it. Obviously got more of the takedowns, got more of the bigger strikes in with the leg kicks, not so much with his hands. Ishida, at least to this point, well on his way to another decision victory, because I haven't seen Ishida in a spot in any position to be able to try to finish it.
No, and Jung has to be thinking back just a few months ago when he made his debut. It was a few of the times where it looks like he was maybe going to be taken out of the fight. He almost got a submission, almost turned the fight around, but was not able to finish it. That was much like his debut against Aoki, as we take a look at some of the action from that first round.
Picking him up. That's Ishida picking up. And he's not landing with, not forcing his head on the ground. You see, double knee, that I don't understand what he's trying to do. It looked like a double flying knee. But these great kicks on the outside. Ishida's got amazing kick speed. But, really you have to kind of watch it, what different guys are doing and how they perform. And I'm not real sure what Ishida's trying to do. As he does a lot of his techniques, he's not looking for a position to finish. When you pick a guy up, he has an armbar on you, a submission on you, you slam him back down to the canvas. You want to have his head hit first, and he's landing on, he's landing on both knees, allowing his lower back to hit, which is actually saving him.
5 more minutes to go. At least that's what it's scheduled for. And with Ishida, you would almost bet that it makes these other 5 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think just because of the Ishida style and the way Jung style is, and barring Ishida getting caught in that little weird armbar that Jung does, I don't see it stopping.
And yet another kick from Ishida. Well, he snaps those off, doesn't he?
Yeah. Fast and quick, like a Sakurai style. His leg kicks.
Goes in, grabs a single leg, and gets the takedown.
He's got his toes taped, and I think that's why he keeps losing his footing. Because every time he takes a shot, he slides his back foot, his left foot's his drive leg. It slides off. He's putting himself right back in his armbar position, which is kind of strange. He's been doing it over and over again. It's the third time he's been caught in it, and it's obviously not really close to being finished. Oh, good job.
He drops the hammers in. That's the end of that. I guess he probably has enough confidence now, Frank. He figures Jung can grab hold, but he can't submit it.
Yeah, this is true, probably. I'm just one of those guys, I'd rather have a guy grab a hold of me at all if I know it's coming. And that's his favorite position.
Action!
$250 to go in this fight. Mitsuhiro Ishida on his way to his 16th victory, it would appear. Unless Bu Jung can do something big in this next 2.5 minutes. We've seen him try on 3 occasions to get that arm bar, and he just can't finish it off.
Because it's a weird spot. It's not a real true arm bar in the sense of hyperextending the elbow. It kind of does it from the side. It's more of a judo position, obviously, with Jung being a judo silver medalist, but it's a spot that's hard to hit when a guy's in a gi on and when he's punching you in the face. It's one of those submissions you don't want to hit when a guy's getting ready to rain down on you.
Yeah, taking some of that tape off there, aren't they?
Oh, geez, look at his leg. His leg is lit up, yeah.
Those quick, powerful kicks of Ishida certainly taking the toll. And again, Ishida grabs the leg and gets the takedown. And Jung has no defense against those takedowns.
Every time he shoots on him, it's a perfect timing. He's got perfect technique once he gets in there. Finishes very quickly, doesn't spend time standing up and holding on. He finishes the guy very fast. Jung is just kind of a loss. He's not used to someone attacking his legs. You can tell that they don't have a wrestler, at least a pure wrestler in the camp.
Jung will certainly know he was in a fight in the morning, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. His leg's going to be killing him. Maybe not so much his jaw and his chin and what have you, but he's definitely going to get beat up a little bit. His legs are just, they're going to be so sore in the morning.
Ishida, particularly on that lead leg, you can see the redness there on that left leg. He has tattooed Jung repeatedly with those kicks.
Really, the winner of this fight was the cardio trainer for Ishida. The guy that trained him in his cardio is the guy that wins this fight, because that's really what it was. Technique wasn't all that spectacular, and there really wasn't any big stand-up striking positions or a bunch of rolling around grappling positions. It was ended up being just Ishida taking him down, Jung taking him down, and beating him up slowly and positionally every 30 seconds. That's just what he did. Now Jung is trying to go a little bit now with 30 seconds left, but it doesn't make any sense. Brian Ishida getting caught in this weird triangle right now, or any other position, he can feel confident he worked himself into a victory.
Jump!
And you could listen to the fighters and know they are spent.
Yeah, a lot of energy. These guys went hard and went strong. And really got to give it up for Ishida. I mean, he just was in better cardio shape, and that's the biggest thing. But I've seen total cards on a Saturday night, just sitting there at home, watching on the couch, watching the whole card and watching and noticing the biggest difference between every winner and every loser was the cardio shape, and that was the bottom line. It wasn't nothing to do with technique or anything else. It was just the guy in better shape, Good up and down motion by Ishida. When he finally decides to go, he commits all the way in and steps in across. Of course, Jung helped out by jumping into guard because he knew he was going to get taken down. And Ishida just outworking him, just keeps punching with that left hand, keeps trying to grind down and wear him out.
Ishida has won 9 of his last 10. We expect this to be 10 now out of his last 11.
Judge Ohashi, Ishida. Judge Isono, Ishida. Judge Adachi, Ishida. Yote Shosha, Ishida.
No surprise all the way around. Ishida wins his 16th win, 13 of those by decision. This one a unanimous decision over Zhang, the second straight loss for the former Judo World Cup champ. 0 for 2 at his pro debuts. 2 good fighters, Aoki and Ishida to start with, and he loses unanimous decisions to both. And this was all Ishida, like Frank said. I mean, this was just a clinic on how to take advantage of being in excellent shape.
There he goes, running again.
And there he goes. Yeah, he's probably got a sprint or something to go to next. He might be going to a kickboxing thing or something later. This guy could go all night.
Looks like he might be on his way to a triathlon.
Yeah.
I'm late, hurry up, I get to the swimming. Good job, definitely the Koreans are coming on strong. They're starting to pick up. We haven't seen a lot of Koreans lately compete, but he's definitely, Jung is going to be back, he's doing okay.
And actually, you would be moving slowly, too, if you'd received the amount of kicks that he has tonight as he was worked over by Ishida with those good, strong kicks. So we're going to take a break here from this lightweight tournament, and when we come back, coming into action, Pro Cup. You can see it here on Dream and HDNet Fights.
Next on HDNet, Katie Darrell walks you through this week's wackiest news events in Deadline, coming up next on HDNet.
The top fighters from around the globe
Here we go.
will gather in Japan, and the greatest lightweight will be foul.
The countdown is underway.
Kawajiri, Aoki, Calvin Conte, Ishida on the network with more exclusive live events than anywhere else. HDNet Fights presents Dream. Tonight at 10:30 Eastern, followed by Dream 2 tomorrow on HDNet. Your home for MMA.
Welcome back to HDNet Fights presents Dream 1.
Saitama Super Arena. Kenny Rice, Frank Trigg. This is the debut of the lightweight Grand Prix, the Dream Night. We take a break from the tournament right now, though, as we get ready for heavyweights to step into action.
And now for the seventh match.
青コーナーより水野達也選手の優勝です。
Tatsuya Mizuno, this is an interesting position to be in with a record of 3-2. Getting ready to take on Krokop.
Not so interesting. Very deadly, dangerous position. Not so much interesting. This guy.
Interesting if you go back to the days when people actually like to see lions run out there in that den.
I know, really, I'm like, wow, this guy's in for it. I always feel bad for every guy that signed the fight, but when Gable Gonzaga signed the fight, Krokop, he didn't think it was interesting either. He just went out there and beat Krokop's butt. So anything is possible, especially when it comes to Krokop. You know, really, Mizuno, he's very young. He's only got 3-2. 2 subs, 1 KO. He's not really known for his great devastating knockout power, but he's got great judo, and everyone knows that Krokop is horrible on the ground. If you get him to the ground, you got a shot at submitting, whether he's on top of you or not. So you have to give Mizuno great credit because he does have a good submission game from his judo background.
Mirko Krokop 選手の優勝です。
He's gone for the longer shorts today, I see.
Krokop, as Frank mentioned, losing to Gonzaga. Now he is trying to stop the first 2-fight losing streak of his career. He had not lost since New Year's Eve 2005. That was a split decision to Mark Hunt until losing twice in a 4-month span. Lost to Congo. That was in UFC 75. That after losing to Gonzaga. Gabriel winning that one in UFC 70. So back-to-back losses for Krokop for the first time in his career.
Great left straight punch. Incredible left head kick. At some point, you know you're getting kicked in the head by the left leg. When's it going to happen, and can you stay on your feet?
これより第7試合を行います。青コーナー186センチ、95.5キロ、水野達也。赤コーナー188センチ、101キロ、Mirko Krokop。
No one knows him by his last name anyway, do they, Frank? Krokop.
No, if you said, if you told somebody that you're going to see Mirko Filipovic,
Filipovic, I think.
Filipovic. Nobody said, yeah, I'm going to see Mirko Filipovic fight. They'd be like, who? You tell them Krokop, like, oh, yeah, the guy knocks guy's heads in the third row.
Let's see if he can get back on the winning track. He is a big favorite to do so here.
Finally fighting somebody his own size. 210 to 222. Always fights the heavyweight, but he's a light heavyweight. Nationally weighs about 220. Could make 205 if really dedicated to the diet.
Mizuno staying right in there. Got in a little too close. And now Krokop goes to work, and this one is probably going to end about any second, and it does.
Oh, jeez. He did a great thing earlier. I don't know if I can get it on replay or not. I'm going to try to, but he doesn't think he's tied up. He actually takes a half step back. He kicks him in the thigh with his left leg, tied up, which is very flexible, have great timing because he's going to catch him in the shin. But that was the beginning of the end because when he caught him in the thigh, all of a sudden he couldn't move. He couldn't move backward any further.
2 in a row now after those 2 straight losses, and as we expected, this certainly was an easy one. You have to just give credit to Mizuno for not even trying to run away.
Good blocking. That knee. Gets caught with that left hand. A hooking left hand came in right between the hands. Let me tell you, when you get a hit for real from a guy, a real kickboxer, like Krokop is, all of a sudden you realize that you're about to be in for a beating if you know how to stop the bleeding very quickly.
Krokop makes it look easy, efficiently putting away Mizuno here in the first round.
Ken of mine, it's Mirko's manager in Japan on the right-hand side, the Japanese gentleman with the black jacket and the white shirt. Ken's been around for a long time. Ken's actually helps Gilbert